large black man walking through a park, talking to himself. Ignore it, it was me. So, I know there's some married people here. Clap for yourselves again. And then somebody up here who was 24 years, congratulations. I'm 25, so you can guess who my wife is. If you were paying attention. But to get to 25 years, you got to propose, right? Like, that's how it all starts. Right? You can't just be like, snatch her water off the street and be like, hey, you're mine 25 years later, that kind of thing. You can't do that, right? So you got to propose. But in those days, you used to like go up to the father and ask for permission and all those other kind of things like they were like property or whatever else, right? But you're not sure that they were going to say yes. So over time, man got smart and you start asking for their blessings because basically when it comes down to it, if they don't give you a blessing, you're like, I'm still going to propose. Like, you're not, like, it doesn't really matter. This is really a formality. Like, it's a courtesy to you to let you know you're about to get a new son, right? Like, it's like one of those things that you're trying to, like, really work out, like, generally or whatever, right? So, I'm trying, so I decide, like, I'm going to propose. Like, she's a really great woman. I really love her. Like, all things that go along with that. And, so I'm going to have to ask her mother for her blessing. Now, the important thing to point out, though, is to give you a little bit of perspective about her mother, right? So the first time I meet this woman, she says, welcome to my home, keep the toilet seat down, sleep in 2 separate rooms, and no man can be trusted. I'm like, we're off to a great start. I just met you and you already hate me. Like, this is going to really work out well. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And then she's like, I'm cooking a turkey. Are you a breast or a thigh man? And I'm like, ma'am, I was raised well. I like big butts, I cannot lie. That's really what it comes down to, right? So a few years later after meeting her, and all the things that go along with that, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta call her to ask for her blessing before I propose to my now wife, right? So I'm at the University of Michigan. She's from the Bronx. She's in New York, and all things go along with that. And so I go to what is called the Michigan Union. It's like this big building. You walk in, and there are these phone booths, and they're like wooden phone booths. They're ornate. They look really, really good. You walk inside of them. There's like a little light up at the top. There's a little phone thing there. It looks like a Catholic confession. Like you're going in to tell your life secrets to somebody you hope you never see. Now they know so much about you, right? So I'm like super, super nervous. I've decided to do this thing, and just before I go into the phone booth, there's this like Christian group outside doing a Bible study, right? And I take this as a sign from God to get a prayer in before I go into this group. So I'm like, I go over to the guys and I'm like, yo, I'm about to like propose, just really tough, I'm very nervous, whatever, will you all pray with me? They're like, look, we'll stop praying for the football team long enough to pray for your little proposal, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. Like, all right, we're going to make this work. So we get there, we pray, we get everything going. I walk into the booth. Now today I might have to squeeze in, but back then I could walk in, right? And so they say, so I call my mother-in-law, I call on the phone, she goes, hello? And I'm like, hi, and I just cut straight to the chase on pretty much everything. I say, I'm calling to ask for your blessing to marry your daughter. And she's like, it's like a little pause, and she goes, I don't want to, but I'll give you my blessing. And I was taught, you take the gifts you got, right? And I'm like, awesome, great, let's go. I'm ready to hang up the phone. She's like, hold on, stay on the line. I'm like, goodness gracious. Now I need you, before I say the next thing, I need to point out that she is all of 5 feet tall. And I am 6'6", right? And so she says, if you ever hit my daughter, I'm gonna find a knife, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna stab you in your gut, because that's what I can reach. I want to make sure you have no pulse. And then I'm going to call the cops. Because if I'm willing to do the crime, I'm willing to do the time. And then she's like, you got 5 years to extend my family line. My wife was pregnant that night. We're not messing around here, like whatever, right? So I hang up. I'm like, okay, great, bye. Like, what else am I going to say? I got what I wanted. There's no reason to debate this. I come out, the Bible study's still going on. The guys are like, what happened? I explain what happened. They're like, oh, go with Jesus. You got what you wanted, right? And so then I go to my friend's house, and he's very pragmatic, very down to earth. Everything about him is practical. And I tell him what she says to me, like, she's going to kill me if I ever hit her daughter. And he looks at me and he says, do you plan on hitting your wife? And I'm like, nope. He's like, then what do you got to worry about? Congratulations. So it's been 25 years. We have 3 very beautiful and intelligent daughters. And, someday somebody might come along and decide that they want to ask for my blessings to marry them. At which point, I'll go to the kitchen, I'll get a knife, and I'll say, are you a breast or a diamond?